Namaskar, all of you. Welcome to Equivaluesearch presents Equity Research Training Cum Internship program. So first, I would just like to tell you that what this thing is all about. What is this Equity Research Training Cum Internship and how it would actually look like. Okay, so next 6 weeks, all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, you guys are going to spend your 6 weeks time with me learning about various aspects of the equity research as a job role, and whatever you will be learning in this entire training process, you will be also parallelly implementing those learnings, those knowings in at work, and you will be actually gaining the hands-on working experience as we did promise while we were onboarding you. So first, let me just give you my introduction, who I am, and like what are the credentials that I have, my experience and exposure to the market, and all those things. So I just like to explain that thing within just a few short minutes, and then we will move forward with the next things. So namaskar everyone. My name is Soumitra Mandal, and I have been an equity research analyst for more than 2 years now, and I'm currently working at Equivaluesearch as a full-time equity research analyst by side for last 1 year, and I have been investing in the equity market for almost 7+ years. So this is about my investing journey. Like, I have been investing in the market when I actually got into the college. The first year of my college, I started investing in the market in the month of September 2015. So like since then I've been, I am a full-time investor, and like, my deep love towards the market that has like, helped me to build a career in this particular thing. Now, about equity research as a job role. Equity research as a job role, how it looks like, what are the opportunities, like how much money you can make, the salaries, the qualifications that is required to become a full-time equity research analyst, and what are the things that I'll just take few minutes to explain those things. Okay. So equity research as a job role, it offers you like variety of opportunities and a great career, like, in your life it can offer. So what are the qualifications that are required to become a full-time equity research analyst? So generally in India, you have this qualification called as CFA, that is Chartered Financial Analyst. So this particular qualification, which is CFA, that actually helps you to become a full-time equity research analyst in companies like even ICICI Securities, which like we have a great company here, and then HDFC Securities, we have a great company, we have Kotak Securities, we have IIFL, like that. There's many brokerage houses that are there in India. So you can make your career in this kind of great brokerage houses that we have in India. Plus, we do have those MNCs like we have JP Morgan, we have Goldman Sachs, we have this many companies, Barclays, we have this, Investec, so many companies are there. We have CRISIL, which is another like very much popular, and they do hire a lot of full-time equity research analysts in India. We have HSBC here. So like these are the most popular names in the industry. And then also we have small boutique equity research firms, we have investment management firms, we have PMS fund houses. All these companies are there who have this job role to offer, which is the equity research analyst. So now what are the qualifications? CFA, as I said. So if you complete your CFA level 3, you can very easily get into this job role without even any experience. Like even if you just have cleared your CFA level 3, then you can very easily, without any prior experience, you can actually get a job in this role. Okay. Now, what are the other qualifications? Is it the only way? No. We do have few more options for you, which is if you become a chartered accountant, being a fresher also, you can get into this job roles. Yes, definitely. You may not end up getting a job in ICICI Securities because they do require a lot of experience, and that company is a great company, right? तो उसमें तो होना थोड़ा difficult होगा, right? But after qualifying your chartered accountancy examination, becoming a full-time like a qualified chartered accountant, you can definitely get a job in this domain. What are the other qualifications? What about MBA? Like we have many MBA colleges in India, and we have many finance MBA finance graduates. So what about that? So yes, you can also become a full-time equity research analyst after completing your MBA in finance. Also MSc in finance, this kind of degrees are also there. Like those kind of people also get employed there. But these are the main three options, main three qualifications that you have Through these three options, you can very easily get into the equity research as a full-time career. So other than CA, CFA and MBA, what are the other qualifications that we have? So another very well-known qualification is FRM, that is Financial Risk Managers. So they also do get employed in this domain, but generally they have specialization over the risk management areas. So they generally go for those job roles. But yeah, like in small equity research firms or proprietary trading firms, there they definitely get employed. So these are the broad qualifications. Also, even if you were a BCom, okay, then also you can like become a full-time analyst, as I have become one. Okay, so I did my graduation in 2018. After that, I was dealing with various businesses, as I have a passion for building businesses as well. So yeah, I was just doing that after my graduation. And then, as I always had the love for equity market, so in 2020 I actually started like a full-time role, and then I later on get into this company. So this is how it is. And now let me take you through the program structure and everything, like how this entire program would look like. So about this program, as you already know, that the tenure, the time duration of this entire program would be 6 weeks. Okay. So you will be working with us for 6 weeks. You will be learning about equity market for next 6 weeks from us. Now moving on to the next thing, which is what are those areas that we are actually going to cover. So what you will be learning from us, what is the learning outcome, what after 6 weeks, what you will end up with, what you will actually learn from us. So those things are sectoral report writing. So yeah, we will teach you how you can write a sectoral report on any particular sector. Specifically here, we will be focusing on steel and banking although, but after learning the way of writing, the art of writing a sectoral report, you will be able even able to make sectoral reports on various other sectors like cement you have real estate, you have infrastructure, so you have like aluminiums, like other base metals that we have other than steel. So like aluminium we have zinc, we have copper. You can cover those sectors as well. Plus you can also cover mining sector. So these are the things. Even you can cover the building material part, like many other industries that you can also cover with the same knowledge, same level of understanding and expertise. Yes, definitely there will be few new things, but yeah, these are the like very closely related sectors. You can even cover paint sector if you just develop a bit understanding with the crude oil, how it works. So yeah, then you can also do it. And after learning banking, so what are the like sectors very much closely related to the banking sector? So that is gold loan sector. You have NBFCs, you have small finance banks. So these are the companies that you can cover. And yeah, if you develop a bit more understanding about the field of finance, you can even go for some credit rating agencies that we have, which is listed in the stock exchanges. We have CRISIL, ICRA, those kind of companies, Care Rating. So yeah, their business model is a bit like different than these things, but yeah, you can go for even them, and you can also cover those companies. Plus even insurance, you can also cover insurance. So finance related kuch bhi hoga, you will be able to cover. Like you have AMCs now, you have the brokerage houses now. So with after developing a bit more understanding, then banking सीख जाने से ये सब धीरे धीरे हो जाएगा, right? एंड स्टील सेक्टर एज आई सेड, तो स्टील सीखने से आप बहुत सारे चीज़ों को आप समझ पाएंगे स्टील सेक्टर को सीखने के बाद. सो दिस इज वाई वी हैव इंटेंशनली सिलेक्टेड दीज टू सेक्टर्स ओनली, दैट इज बैंकिंग एंड स्टील. वाई? नाउ टेल मी वन थिंग. Tell me one thing, as we are discussing about sectoral report writing, right? Tell me one thing. Is steel sector a cyclical sector, or it is a sector which continuously grows? Yes, on the long term basis, if you look at it, definitely it has grown continuously. It would look like that it has grown continuously, but that is not the story. They have the business cycles and they are very much volatile. Okay, we do need to understand the the cyclical nature of business. So that is why we have chosen the steel sector. And also, it is a singular commodity sector, right? Because here you will be dealing with a commodity which is the iron ore. So this is why we have selected this sector, plus it is a manufacturing sector. So about manufacturing processes, you can also get to develop a good insight. And what you can do more, like स्टील तो सीख गए, बैंकिंग सीख गए, तो इससे अल्टीमेटली फायदा क्या होगा? Like, will you get a job? So my friends, it depends on few more things to get a full-time job. So many candidates, they do ask me this question that after like finishing this thing, will I get a full-time job? Can I like crack interviews? So yeah, the way we will be teaching you, we can ensure you about this thing that if you have the required qualification, in that case you can do it. You can crack an interview. Okay, like though the skills they really actually look for in a full-time analyst, like while these companies are hiring for a full-time equity research analyst, what qualities they look for, what skills they look for. So we can make a promise to you that after going through this entire 6 weeks ka program, you will be equipped with all those skills. Okay. So sectoral report writing, we will teach you. We will definitely teach you how you can write an initiating coverage report. How you can write an initiating coverage report. Now, what is this initiating coverage report? I will explain this thing to all of you within just a few minutes. Okay, let me just take you to the third point which we have, that is the fundamental analysis. Now, fundamental analysis, you guys do have some understanding, but let's say if you are completely from a non-finance background, let's say you are completely from a non-finance background, and to be very honest, we have those candidates, like 20% of our candidates, they are either pursuing their engineering degree or they have cleared it, they have become a full-time engineer, they are working also somewhere in some companies, and they are really interested in the field of finance. So they are thinking about whether they should like take this career shift or not. So for them, I can assure you, as we have 20% of our candidates who are either engineers or they are from backgrounds even like English honors. So we do have those candidates. We do encounter even English honors qualified candidate, and as I'm from Bengal, so I have even like I had one candidate, she was Bengali honors. So you can understand, we have this many variety of candidates we deal with. So yeah, we will make sure that we teach you all those things. Even if you were not from a finance background, you learn those things properly. नहीं तो पैसे दिए हो भाई, you have paid us. Why have you paid us if you do not get a proper ROI on your investment? It is not that just you have paid us only 1,000 rupees. Like with this much money, you can't even afford a coffee at Starbucks with your 3-4 friends, right? So ठीक है, 1,000 रुपए दिया है क्या है? Do not think like that. If you think like that, probably you are just going to waste your money, you are just going to waste your time. Please do not do that. My brothers and sisters, please do not do that. You should never waste your time, you should never waste your money. You know, the most famous quote of Mr. Warren Buffett was like my guru. I consider him as my guru, and he is probably the guru for all the equity investors, right? So he said, the rule number 1 is never lose the money in the market. And second rule is, you should not forget the rule number 1. So even you are investing this money for a growth in your career, you want to see a growth, you want to grow your career, right? Then how you can just be irresponsible and do not take it, you are not taking it seriously, right? So you have made the small investment, but I can assure you, I can definitely make a promise to all of you. I'm making a promise online. This video will be uploaded on YouTube. So yeah, I'm making this particular promise publicly to all of you, all my dear candidates, all my brothers and sisters, that after 6 weeks, at what position you were 6 weeks back, that is, you are watching this video now, today, right at this moment, 6 weeks from today, if you follow our process, you will get to know a lot of things about equity market, how to become a successful investor. If not too much, like, it probably won't equip you to become a millionaire because it needs many other things, many other skills. But yeah, एक जॉब क्रैक करने की क्षमता तो आपको दे ही देगा. दैट मच आई कैन अश्योर यू, दैट मच प्रॉमिस आई कैन गिव यू. So yeah, if you have the required qualification, let's say a particular company is hiring for their executive a job role, and their criteria is CFA level 3, and if you were CFA level 1 candidate, you can never crack that interview. Okay, do not come back and tell me भैया you said, आपने बोला था कि कोई भी इंटरव्यू क्रैक हो जाएगा. So I'm not saying it like that, my friends. So you do not take it literally, but yeah, that is what I'm saying. If that is the criteria, कि if you're a CFA level 3 qualified candidate, then only you can like apply for it. And if you are a CFA level 3 qualified candidate, you are applying for the job, I can tell you, if your other applicants, if they do not have more working experience than you, and all of them, let's say 10 candidates, all these 10 candidates has cleared their CFA level 3 and they are completely freshers, so I can ensure you, you will be getting the job 100%. आपको ही मिलेगा, because all the skills that are required, we will teach you all those things. एकदम पकड़ के सिखाएंगे, हाथ पकड़ के, with proper hand holding I will teach you. That much promise I am making to all of you publicly. It is on record on YouTube, so you can understand the value of it, right? Now, fundamental analysis, those who are from non-finance background. So what is this? It is not only, probably you have heard of it, that it is the analysis of profit and loss statement, balance sheet, cash flows, ratio analysis, but it is not restricted to only number crunching. If you have this understanding, this is the time you can actually change your mind, because it is not only about number crunching. If you hate number crunching, so I'm telling you, it is not only about number crunching. It is not just looking at profit and loss statement of last 5 years or last few quarters and making the comparative analysis and just calculating some CAGR, all these things. No, it is not so. Even looking at the corporate governance of the company, the management quality, understanding of the business, the sector, all these things comes under the fundamental analysis. It is not only restricted to just number crunching. It is not. Okay, like 5 years ago, this company had a turnover of, let's say, 100 CR, 100 crores, and now after 5 years, their revenue from operations, that is, their turnover has become, let's say, 250 crores. But how this thing has happened? They have taken enormous amount of debt, and they are not making much profit to service their debt. So in that case, what will happen? That business will definitely fail, right? Everyone understands only this much concept? Yeah, we will have much more in-depth analysis and discussion about the whole thing, but this is just to make you understand. So fundamental analysis, I will show you the annual report, okay, in our following videos or following sessions. So this thing will happen in the third week. I'm telling you, this thing will happen in third week. I will actually open up one annual report and read it out to you. I will actually open up one annual report and I will read out to you all the notes to accounts that is there. Let's say there it is written, revenue from operations 1000 crores. But revenue from operations in FY22, it was 1000 crores. But in FY23, this revenue from operations has become, let's say, 1200 crores. Now, which particular segment of the business has grown, do you know? Just by looking at these two figures of 1000 crores and 1200 crores, you do not understand, right? You are not understanding what is the story behind this number. What has actually happened? Whether they have manipulated their books of accounts or what the hell has happened? क्या हुआ है? आपको कोई अंडरस्टैंडिंग ही नहीं है, किधर से समझ में आएगा आपको? 1000 करोड़ का 1200 करोड़ हो गया, बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में आपका कोई मैनिपुलेशन है, आपका प्राइस हाइक हुआ है, क्या है? कंपनी ने उसका एक ही सेगमेंट है, ऐसा है क्या? या फिर दे हैव डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट लाइन्स ऑल्सो, लाइक लेट्स से हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर. For our example, I'm taking just a hypothetical example, Hindustan Unilever. Let's say in FY22, their revenue from operations were 1000 crore rupees in FY23 ended. Yeah, currently the FY23 is going on, but so I'm just, as I said, that it is just for an example, I'm considering it. Okay. Now, FY23 ended, their revenue from operations has become, let's say, 1200 crores. But now, from which segment this revenue has actually grown? Like for this 20% of revenue, increase in revenue, which segment has contributed most? And what was the profit margin earned from that particular segment? What was the operational profit margin earned from that particular segment? We need to understand all these things. And is it a sustainable growth or it's just a one-time growth? We have to understand all these things with this much in-depth understanding, detailed analysis we will be doing. Like geographical wise bifurcations, we will have to look at it कि भाई हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर का दे हैव पैन इंडिया प्रेजेंस, राइट? मतलब पूरे भारत वर्ष में आप जिधर भी जाएंगे आपको हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर का शैम्पू साबुन कुछ ना कुछ तो मिल ही जाएगा, राइट? कहीं भी चले जाओ, आप कन्याकुमारी चले जाओ, आप इधर कश्मीर चले जाओ, पश्चिम बंगाल में आ जाओ, आप महाराष्ट्र में चले जाओ, तमिलनाडु में जाओ, यूपी में जाओ, दिल्ली में जाओ, मुंबई में चले जाओ, किधर भी जाओ, गुजरात में जाओ, अरुणाचल में जाओ, असम में जाओ, मिजोरम में जाओ, मणिपुर में जाओ, किधर भी जाओ, तुमको HUL का, हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर का आपको प्रोडक्ट मिल जाएगा. बट फ्रॉम विच सेगमेंट दिस ग्रोथ हैज हैपेंड? जियोग्राफिकल बाइफर्केशन मतलब होता है कि जियोग्राफिकली ईस्टर्न पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया से हैज दिस growth been contributed to the total revenue growth, or it is product wise कि this company has launched a particular product in a particular segment, that is why this revenue has grown, or HUL has acquired, let's say they acquired a brand a few years back, I think only one and a half year back was Horlicks. तो इस ब्रांड को HUL ने जब GSK से एक्विजिशन किया था, उसके बाद जब आपका इनकम स्टेटमेंट कंसोलिडेशन हो गया मर्जर के बाद, आपका एक्विजिशन के बाद, इज इट एन इनऑर्गेनिक ग्रोथ? सो एक्विजिशन से, मर्जर से, ये सब से होता है इनऑर्गेनिक ग्रोथ. ऑर्गेनिक ग्रोथ क्या होता है? दैट इज स्टेडी ग्रोथ फ्रॉम योर कोर ऑपरेशंस, राइट? सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड वेदर इट इज एन ऑर्गेनिक ग्रोथ और एन इनऑर्गेनिक ग्रोथ. इसका नेचर क्या है? Have they just hiked their price? If they have hiked their price and the entire industry has not hiked their price, what can happen to HUL? They can lose their market share. So many things we have to understand, and this is not even the tip of the iceberg that I have told you. We're going to do these things. Okay, ये तो बहुत ही कम बोला आपको, और भी बहुत ज़्यादा in-depth analysis करेंगे. ये तो 1% भी नहीं है. This is probably 0.01% of analysis we will be doing in the fundamental analysis part. Okay, I will take you through the balance sheet. उस balance sheet का notes to accounts we will look at it. We will look at cash flows notes to accounts, PL statement का notes to accounts, auditors report, corporate governance, MTA section, business overview. पूरा पढ़ना होगा, मैं आपको समझाऊंगा one by one. ठीक है everyone? All good everyone? The next point that I have written is the economic analysis. So economic analysis everyone understands, but probably you are not comfortable with the terms. So it's okay. Do not worry. In the first week itself, that is starting from today, in this particular video, I will help you to understand not only India's economy, but I will also help you to understand the economy of these great economies like USA, China, Japan, Germany, UK, Russia, and definitely our motherland, India. So just wait for a few more minutes, then I will take you through all those points and how professionally in a full-time job role in a company it is done. I'll be showing all these things to you, so please do not worry. Okay, please do not worry. So in the bracket of EIC analysis, like in the bracket of economic analysis, in the bracket I have written EIC analysis. Now what is this EIC analysis? The full form of EIC analysis is economy, then industry, then company analysis. So this is the first, like this is an approach which is also commonly called as a top down approach. टॉप डाउन अप्रोच का मतलब क्या होता है कि मतलब आप सबसे पहले सारा कुछ आप चेक कीजिए, पूरा इकोनॉमी में क्या हो रहा है आपका, आईआईपी का, डब्ल्यूपीआई का, सीपीआई का, इंटरेस्ट रेट का, आप सब देखिए, इन्फ्लेशन का क्या चल रहा है, सेंट्रल बैंक क्या बोल रहा है, व्हाट इज द सेंट्रल बैंक ऑफ योर कंट्री सेइंग, व्हाट इज द इंटरेस्ट रेट, व्हाट इज द रेपो रेट, व्हाट इज द सीआरआर, एसएलआर, all these things we should look at. Okay, we should look at all these things, even the population, all these things we will be looking at. Okay, so this is the economic analysis, that is the topmost area we are covering. Then we are coming down to a specific, a particular industry, let's say steel, let's say banking, let's say NBFC, cement, IT, pharmaceutical, specialty chemicals, agrochemicals, automobile, auto ancillary sector. Like that we will look at a particular sector, and in our training program we will look at industry analysis of which two industries that I just mentioned, steel and banking. Why steel and banking? I have also explained that thing, so not worry about it. Okay, then we will look at company specific as I have just described. Now the fifth point is company's result and news analysis. Now news can be a particular company specific that you can find out on the internet, on the very popular news channels, you can find it out. You can always Google, or if you want to listen to the news, you can refer to those YouTube channels where YouTube channels of those media houses. We have few good media houses in India, and it is not the exclusive list, but yeah, I'm just telling you only 1, 2, 3 names. For English you can cover CNBC TV 18, you can watch that. You don't need to have a television connection and all these things, it is not even required. You can just open your YouTube channel, like your mobile phone, you can just go to YouTube and you can just type CNBC TV 18 and you can get that particular news channel. Now for Hindi viewers, like who would like to watch and listen to the news in their mother tongue Hindi, for them they can refer to Z Business, they can refer to CNBC Hours. Both these channels are good. You can follow them for the news only, not for the tips, not for the recommendations by the analyst. Yes, those analysts are really good. They know a lot more than what I know. They are one of the best analysts in India, and some of them might be the best analyst and most regarded analyst in the world. Yes, so do not take them in halke mein mat lijiye un logo ko. Do not think that they just suggest some short term calls and 50% of the times their calls are generally wrong. Do not say it like that. They know a lot more than what we actually know, and publicly on television there are some restrictions, there are some compliances, so they have to follow that. That is why even if they know 10 different things, they cannot even show it to you. Like they can't even show you 1 out of 10 what they actually know. They have the best in the industry experiences, but they are not able to share with all of you because of many issues. They have time constraint, they have to have answer many questions at a go, so many reasons may be there. So that is why I'm telling you that do not rely on their suggestions, their recommendations. And why I'm saying this, because they might recommend a particular stock to the investors in general, but you may not have any understanding of that particular stock or that particular business, so do not follow their recommendations. You learn it from us. Okay, as you are a participant of this program, you just learn it from us, like about steel and banking, and as I said that how you can grow, how you can cover more and more sectors one by one. So yeah, within a matter of just 1.5 to 2 years, you can achieve that level of expertise being an investor, or even if you are interested in job, full-time job, you can develop that expertise if you keep on doing your work. Like whatever you will be learning from us, if you just follow the same thing, if you keep on practicing, implementing and trying to work on the new sectors, you will achieve that level where you do not need any help, you do not need any recommendations. Yes, guide you definitely need, from your seniors, those who has like better understanding of the market. So you just take the guidance from that, like how you should be approaching the thing, how you should be doing your research. But yeah, do not rely on the recommendations. Do your own research. Do your own research, and you take your investment decisions, because you are putting your hard-earned money. You are putting your hard-earned money. आपने कमाए है, आपने खून पसीना सब बहा के आपने कमाए हैं, क्यों उसको बर्बाद करने पे तुले हो भाई? तुम्हारा ही पैसा है, तुम जॉब करके, तुम बिजनेस करके, तुम अपना खुद का माथा फोड़ के तुम पैसे कमा रहे हो, तुम उसको शेयर मार्केट में गंवाने के लिए क्या? और वो भी दूसरों के बात पे। वो लोग गलत नहीं बोल रहे हैं, उनका इंटेंशन गलत नहीं है। दे डो नॉट हैव एनी बैड इंटेंशन, ऑल दोस एनालिस्ट, दे डो नॉट हैव एनी बैड इंटेंशन। सम you might be thinking in your mind, acha biasness ka what? I'm not even considering that thing here. Like all the analysts, they are not biased. Yeah, 1 out of 100 it can be. We have even such bad experiences. Just a few years, like only 1 year back, with a particular TV channel, we know it, what happened. If you do not know, you can Google and you can understand. Like even I have mentioned that particular channel's name. I wouldn't like to say and make any commentary on that, like on record. So yeah, it happened, but it's just 1 out of 100. So you cannot blame the entire universe. So yeah, please do not rely on their recommendations. It is your hard-earned money that you have made. So take care of it. Take full control, full authority of it. Okay, and do your investments. Acha. So about the fifth point of company result and news analysis. So here, in the very beginning, I made a promise to all of you. Now my friends, my brothers and sisters, I'm not your sir, Guruji or anything. I do not suit that title because it is way too big for me. I am not your sir, I am not your guru. Okay, if you want to call anyone your guru, call Rakesh Chundanwala sir, or you call Warren Buffett as your guru. They are the person like who deserve that title. I'm just your friend, I'm just your brother. So agar I'm just 25, so like if I'm younger than you, call me younger brother. If I'm elder than you, call me elder brother, no problem. तो अपने भैया से can you make one promise? अपने भाई से एक promise कर पाओगे? Can you make a promise to your brother? So what I want from you is that from today onwards, just for next 6 weeks, only for next 6 weeks I am telling you, if you like that, if you see any changes, if you observe that you have grown, you have become more knowledgeable, you have become a better investor, you have better knowledge than earlier, then only carry it on. Then only you continue it. Otherwise, there is no need. Forget about it. Throw it away. मेरे मुंह पे फेंक के मारो. मेरा ये advice मेरे मुंह पे आप फेंक के मारिए. 6 weeks बाद, okay, after 6 weeks, you just come back and publicly comment down below in the comment section that your help was worthless, कुछ काम का नहीं था. Your 5th point का, you just made us do this thing and it was just useless. You can just mention it एकदम publicly. Comment box is open. There is no filters there. गाली दे दो आके, कोई issue नहीं है, लिख दो. So the promise you need to make is that from today onwards, spend at least 15 minutes of your day reading the news about equity market, Indian stock market. So this is what I'm expecting from all of you. So can you make this promise to all of, can you make this promise to me? So this is what I want from you is that from today onwards, you please read for 15 minutes the news related to Indian stock market. You don't even have to go global. You don't have to cover the US markets and all those stuff. Just Indian market, whatever happens, like the stocks which are listed on NSE and BSE, the news that comes in the market regarding those stocks, you should be just covering that thing only. You don't have to follow any other thing. No US market, no Ukrainian war, anything. So you just cover that thing. That's all I'm expecting from you. And now there is something about company's result, right? So I think you guys know it, or if you are completely new to it, let me explain. Company's result. So companies do declare their result on a quarterly basis. That is, in a particular financial year. Now, what is the concept of financial year? Let me explain if you do not know. We have 1 year, which is the calendar year, which starts from 1st of January and ends on which date? Ends on which date? Bolo bolo. 31st of December, we have 1 year which is called as financial year. And when does it start? 1st of April and ends on 31st of March. This is the financial year structure. We here in India, we are following this structure. And this structure is actually very much in line with our way of working our economy. It has been linked so much because India is an agriculture based country. It was. Right now it is really doing great in industries and all these things. Like you name it, IT, you name it, pharmaceutical, steel, we are the second largest producer of steel in the world. Do you know that? Yeah, the percentage is very less. Like China produces 53% of global steel output and India is producing only 6%, and India is the second largest producer. The third is Japan, fourth is US, fifth is I guess Russia, like that. So India has done really well, but China has excelled in this field. They are the manufacturing powerhouse of the entire world, right? So what can we do? But still we are doing well. We are doing well. So yeah, we will do even better. You don't have to be worried, right? 20 years from now, 20 years down, okay, 25 years down the line, right now, in this time, we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. 25 years from now, like when you will become of your father's age, your mother's age, when you will become 50, if you just look back, you will see the changes. You will see the changes. Like what great shift in India will take place, you cannot really imagine. You are not trusting me, right? You are thinking, अरे यार क्या हो जाएगा 25 सालों में? I will show you what has happened in last 25 years, and what can happen in next 25 years is at least double of what has actually already happened. I will show you. I have the proof of GDP data since 1991. Even after that, like 1991, it is almost for 30 years it will become. So yeah, last 25 years I'll show you the graph of GDP, and then next 25 years you can understand. You are a smart person, you can understand, right? You know it, what will happen. So yeah, we were discussing about financial year. So yeah, as I said, from 1st of April till 31st of March, that is one particular financial year that we have, right? So every quarter, after the end of every quarter, so when this first quarter actually ends in India in a particular financial year, so the particular financial year starts from 1st of April and it ends on when April entered, May entered, June entered. So 30th June, the first quarter in a financial year actually ends, right? So then when these companies do declare their result is that they do declare their result after 30th June, and they do have one particular window of 45 days. They do have a particular window of 45 days. Within that time, these companies are supposed to declare their result, like all the listed companies. Okay, all the listed companies, those who are listed on NSE and BSE, and their stock, that is their shares gets traded in this stock exchanges whenever the exchange opens, right? And we have our market timing of from 9:15 till 3:30, you know it, right? So these companies, they do have one particular window of 45 days. Within that time period, they have to declare their result publicly. But now, for some reason, if these companies are not able to declare their result within this first 45 days window, then what should they do? Then they can inform the stock exchanges and SEBI and take a special permission from the exchanges and the regulator of the market. We have our market regulator, which is SEBI, Securities and Exchanges Board of India. In US we have SEC, that is Securities and Exchanges Commission. Okay, like that for all the big markets, they do have a market regulator. So these companies have to inform the stock exchanges and the market regulator, and then what they need to do is that they will opt for a special permission, and the permission is such that you have 45 more days of time period in your hand. So within this just 45 days, you make sure that you are declaring your result, and you will have to. But in any particular case, if the company fails to publish their result within this 90 days window, starting from 1st July, as I said 30th June, the first quarter ends, the second quarter starts from 1st July. So from 1st July, 45 days normal window you have, the special extended window you have of next 45 days ka. So when the second quarter ends on 30th September. How? Entire April, entire May, entire June. Till 30th June you have first quarter, then entire July, entire August, entire September. Till 30th September you have the second quarter. So before the second quarter ends, that is before 30th September or as on 30th September, you have the another 45 days window. Before that you declare your result, or else you as an analyst should understand that there is a red flag. There is a red flag. That means there might be something wrong going on in that company. It can be some operational issues, some efficiency issues, or this issue is like from the side of the auditors, that auditors are not satisfied, or the management is doing something there which is not good for the investors, because you have invested your hard-earned money in that company and they are not giving you the hisab, they are not giving you the calculations, they are accountable, they are liable, they are like liable to give you the reply, but they have got 90 days period to publish their result and they are not doing it. That means there might be something wrong in that particular business. I can give you example. MBL infrastructure, SPML infrastructure, Quality, KWALITY, Manpasand beverages. Even earlier on we had Satyam computers and this kind of companies who delayed on declaring their result. We have PC jewelers. These kind of companies are listed, like other than Satyam computers, I think all the companies that I just took the name of, all are still listed. They are getting traded and to some extent they have even fallen to the category of penny stock, or probably even one company got even delisted. But what happened there? Why they just didn't declare the result for 90 days? Then what happened that DHFL stock price at once in 2018 was at 600 rupees. MBL infrastructure used to trade at a range of 280 in 2016. 1% beverages also like more than 100. Quality almost 80 rupees. Then what the hell happened in this company? I want to know. Something fraudulent activity was going on, and that is the first red flag that you can raise. पहला खतरे की घंटी है, अगर कंपनी 90 दिन के अंदर रिजल्ट डिक्लेयर नहीं करता है तो, एंड ज़्यादातर केसेस में आई हैव पर्सनली ऑब्जर्व, डेफिनेटली द प्रॉब्लम हैपन्स सूनर और लेटर. आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट SPML infra, small company like which is very age old company, 100 years का almost, not if not 100 years then at least 80 years company का age है. Company was established in 1930 or 32 I guess. इतने पुराने कंपनीज क्या हो गए कि तुम 90 डेज से रिजल्ट डिक्लेयर नहीं कर रहे हो? इन्वेस्टर्स परेशान है भाई. इट माइट बी द इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ एन ओल्ड मैन हु इज 70 years of age. मे बी पेंशन फंड का इन्वेस्टमेंट कैन बी देयर इन दैट पर्टिकुलर फंड, in that particular company. Mutual fund investments can be there. DHFL had huge mutual fund DII holdings and FII holdings and all those things. Why you are not replying to them? You have the liability. You should make this investors inform about the results, the performance of the company, but you are not doing it. ऐसे तो नहीं चलेगा. So the first red flag is when the company delays in publishing their results. So about this company result analysis and news analysis, so the promise that I told you guys to make to me is that starting from today, for the next 6 weeks only, that is 1.5 months period only, from today onwards, you will have to read the news regarding the Indian stock market only for 15 minutes in a day. And it also includes that whenever any company declares their quarterly results, you should just go through it. Now, if you look at a company's quarterly result, the problem is that they don't have much explanation about the numbers. They will just share with you the profit and loss statement, balance sheet and cash flow that too 6-month basis. So only profit and loss balance sheet देख करके what you can understand, those are just bloody full numbers. even if one particular number is wrong there, mistakenly, like, wrongly published, you can't do anything about that number. Then how you can just rely, how you should be doing your full like analysis? So for that, what you can rely on is the press releases made by the companies. Now I will show you how you can find out a press release right now. So this is where you come to. This is a Google Chrome I have come to, and here I am just typing bscindia.com. Press enter. We have BSc India ka website opening. So let's wait. It is taking some time. Yeah, it has opened. So BSc websites, BSc India's website is open now, and here get quote, you can see it right, and here it is showing enter security name. So I'm just clicking on it, and my targeted company's name is Tata Steel. I'm just clicking on it, or you can manually type Tata Steel here in this box. It is taking some time to get loaded. You just select from the drag down menu of the company's name, Tata Steel, once again. So many tabs are opened. You can see, like, I will actually take you through all these tabs today itself. So yeah, it is a bit slow. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, so now we have this Tata Steel company's name appearing here. So you can see all these codes. This is the BSA and this is the NSE code. So these are code, means the short forms, the identification, like the ID number for this stocks. So if you just scroll down a bit, here you have this particular box which is still getting loaded. So ridiculous, right? Wait for it. From this announcement section, you can see you have this announcement section opened here. Wait, it is getting reloaded. You have this announcement part, right? This is the Tata Steel. You can see Tata Steel sticker has appeared, and you can see that the last trade took place on 12th of August, because that was Friday, and I'm recording this on Sunday. So here, if you just scroll down below, here you have one particular box for announcement, then corporate actions, then bulk. So here there is a small blue colored arrow in this box, you can see. So if you just click on it, a page will appear. Let us wait for that. A particular page will appear where you can have like a lot of data to look at. I'll just show you. Yeah, here it is. So you have this corporate announcement area. So as I said, when the second quarter got ended, can you tell me once again? It got ended on 30th June. So from this from date, that is from this calendar that we have, by just selecting we'll be just selecting June 30th. So we are looking for those announcements, those publications, those press releases, and all those releases made by the companies post 30th June. From date and to date, I am just keeping it as 14th of August. And I am submitting it, clicking on the submit button. Now it is getting loaded. So like there are so many documents available here. So I'll just do one thing. I will just try to do a simple search doing Control F. The search bar has appeared. Press release. So press release portion is appearing here. This is another press release made by the company, and this is another press release made by the company. So I'm just clicking on it. Let me see if this is the particular press release that I was looking for. So this is made by company. So if you just go through company's quarterly results, you might not get a holistic view of what the operational activities and everything that has taken place. So that is why actually I'm looking for a press release to support my research, to help me build a bit more understanding about the numbers. So I'm just looking for this data. Yeah, so we have got the press release. So for your convenience, I'll just zoom in a bit. So this particular press release was made on July 5th, that is 5th July 2022. The subject here you can see is press release, and to whom this thing was published and shared with whom? BSE Limited, the Secretary Listing Department of BSE Limited, and the Manager Listing Department of National Stock Exchange of India Limited. So this is the press release. When it was released, find enclosed the press release titled First Quarter FY23 Production and Delivery Volumes Provisional. So I'll just scroll down below, and here in the second page, this is the press release. In the second page we can find out something like this, which is Tata Steel Q1 FY23 Production and Delivery Volumes. And is it actual? No, it is provisional. All figures are in million tons. So what is our quantity of unit of measure? It is million tons, not 1 ton, not quintal. You have quintal of 100 kgs, 1000 kgs makes a ton, and we are talking about 1 million ton. So figures are in million tons. So this is a particular press release we have downloaded for Tata Steel, and here Tata Steel India. So from Tata Steel India business, what was their production and delivery volumes? We would just like to look at it. So this is the production volume, that is steel produced by Tata Steel in India. It is 4.92 million tons in Q1 FY23, and in Q4 of FY22, that is this period is from when? 1st January till 31st of March. Tata Steel produced 4.90 million tons of steel in India, and last year, that is from 1st April till 30th June of last year, FY22, Tata Steel in India produced 4.63 million tons of steel in India. In Europe, you can see what is the volume, 2.43. Earlier on in the last quarter it was 2.31, and last year it was 2.67. Same as for Tata Steel Thailand, you can see the figures. So these are the production volumes. Now tell me one thing. Is it a product wise bifurcation or a geographical wise bifurcation? It is definitely a geographical wise bifurcation, because Tata Steel in India, how much amount of steel, what is the amount of steel produced by Tata Steel in India, in Europe, in Thailand, that is what is explained here one by one, right? So This is the geographical wise bifurcation we can understand. Delivery volumes. What is the amount of steel delivered by Tata Steel to their clients? Let's say they have, let's say Maruti. I'm just taking a hypothetical example. Okay, not the correct example, but just an example. Let's say Maruti Suzuki is the client of Tata Steel and Maruti buys steel from Tata Steel. So what is the delivery volumes in India? 4.06. So if the delivery volumes for Tata Steel India in the first quarter of FY23 was 4.06 million tons of steel. So can you tell me, if Tata Steel produced 4.92 million tons of steel and they were able to deliver to their clients 4.06 million tons of steel, then where this remaining 8.86 million tons of steel actually went? So that became a part of the inventory. So we will have in-depth discussion regarding those things as well while we will be covering the fundamental analysis part. And here you can see production numbers. So what is this note number 1? You can see the production volume here. 1 is given there, right? 1 is given there. So what is the meaning of that? For that we need to refer to the notes. So we shall proceed for the notes. Note number 1 explains that production numbers in India, it is referred to as crude steel production. In Europe, the same thing is referred to as liquid steel production, and Tata Steel Thailand is Tata Steel Thailand, that is in Thailand, this thing is referred to as saleable steel production. Here in the note number 2 you can see Tata Steel India. Here a small 2 is mentioned there. So here it is saying that figures for Tata Steel India includes Tata Steel standalone, Tata Steel long products, Tata Steel standalone and Tata Steel long products without eliminating intercompany transaction. Now what is this intercompany transaction? You have got a new term here. You have found a new term here. Probably you have never even heard of this term, unless and until you are a chartered accountant or MBA or CFA or even FRM. These people, they understand, but probably you may not understand. Probably you were not exposed to these terms. So I have something to show you just to make you understand why this small point of company result analysis is so much important, why it carries such a huge role, and why I am telling you to continuously cover this company results and all these things. So I just will take you to one annual report. Can I find it? Here, I have just found it out. Here you have something related to less captive sales from own projects. Here you have the revenue from operations gross for a particular company. This is not for Tata Steel. This is of Jindal Steel and Power Limited's consolidated profit and loss statement as of the year ended 31st of March 2016. So this is for a different company, but yeah, we have this terminology here like which is close to that. So I'm just showing it to you. I will explain all these things, take them line by line later on in our lectures. Okay. So from revenue from operations gross, they have eliminated the excise duty, less they have eliminated the captive sales from own projects. So this term that you are seeing here, it is somewhat close to this thing, without eliminating intercompany transaction. It is somewhat related to this thing. So like that, now just to explain these few numbers, you can see 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 6, it is 18. 18 numbers for their explanation only. For this 18 volume numbers only, you have this notes given here, right? If you go through all these things, what happens? What was the year-on-year growth? What was the quarter-on-quarter growth? All these things are properly covered and it is much more easily understandable there. So that is why I told you that just going through the quarterly results, quarterly reports won't be enough. You need informations like, you can take information from press release, investor presentation, And you have one particular source of information which I rely on a lot. That is the company's con call. The full name of a con call is conference call. Where you can find out this conference call? You can find out the conference call recording also on company's website. Recording ka transcript, that is whatever was in the conversation. So company makes sure that they write it down word by word and share it with all the investors on their website. So that is something known as conference call transcript. Now the audio of conference call, like the real ones, the actual con call where you can actually access that con call. Let me show it to you. Let me show it to you, like from where you can actually access one particular conference call. Where you can actually find out a conference call. Let me just show it to you. Let me open up the YouTube. Here in the first bar, what you can write is Tata Steel con call Q1, that is Q1 FY 22. So this is what I am looking for, Tata Steel con call Q1 FY 23. FY23, that is what I am looking for. As I did search about Tata Steel Limited's first quarter FY23's earnings con call, so here is the thing that we have found out. Let me play it for you so that you have the realistic feeling of it and you do understand what is being actually discussed in a con call. And if what is the source from where I have taken it, that is Alpha Street India, and definitely you can rely on this con call. This is the actual con call they have recorded and they are sharing it with all of you. Even I also do listen it from here. If you have any other sources, you can go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Tata Steel Analyst Call. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. All the attendees' audio and video has been disabled from the backend and will be enabled subsequently.
This is the
I would now like to hand the conference over to Ms. Samita Shah. Thank you and over to you, ma'am.
To pivot quite successfully into the domestic market, stay focused on the domestic market where we build strong relationships. And what I would also like to highlight is, even if you look at the last few years, we've been selling more in the domestic market than anybody else in India, and that has put us in a good position to scale up in India. And
that the entire energy exposure is hedged 75% for the rest of the year. Are you somewhat hedged for FY for the next year also?
No, I mean typically it's for the next couple.
I would just like to repeat the same question here so that you can listen to it. And this is what something that helps even me personally most to gain the understanding about the business of the company and management. So like to get an insight of the entire thing. This is what I actually personally refer to. So you guys just listen to it, and here one analyst would just ask a question within a minute. So you just listen to it. You just understand the depth of research that this analyst has, and the way he will be asking the question to the management and how the management actually gives the answer. Just listen to it.
EU for the countries to consume 15% less gas that they normally do. And so there is no business risk to us from lower gas availability. But, the inflationary pressures are something which we are watching. That also is reflected in the higher spreads than you normally see because everyone is facing the same challenge. So costs in Europe are certainly higher than what we've seen in the past. Samita, you want to add anything? I think we've lost Samita.
Just while we're waiting for her, one follow-up on that. So you are basically saying that the entire energy exposure is hedged 75% for the rest of the year. Are you somewhat hedged for FI for the next year also?
No. I mean, typically it's for the next couple of quarters that we are fully hedged. So we continue to work that hedge, and that's about 75%. So we're not hedged for the next year.
So this is a like very small glimpse of a particular con call. This is how the con call actually sounds like, and you can access this from Alpha Street India. I'm not doing any promotion to any channel or anyone, and yeah, but from here I actually do listen to the con call, and also you have other sources like you have Trendline, so they also releases this con call, so you can even listen to that, no problem. Okay, so this is how you can listen to the con call. And if you were particularly, as I just showed you sometimes back in my presentation, that we will be doing the equity research report writing, and there I mentioned one term particularly, which is the initiating coverage report. So what is an initiating coverage report? Let me explain by showing you a real life example of an initiating coverage report, which I have already downloaded, but yeah, I can just show you from where you can download the the equity research reports, the initiating coverage reports, and what are the other types of reports there can be. So like for quarterly result updates, there can be such reports which particularly updates the investors about like what happened in the past quarter and what is expected to happen in the following quarters. So that is one particular kind of report. Then if there is any short note reports that can be published or any new development that happens, post that brokerage houses can reinitiate their coverage or like give you the following following other reports with you. So those like depends if any new event happens, company specific or economy specific or sector specific, like for those kind of incidents, the brokerage houses may come up with their new research reports. But the research report which is the most important research report for us would be an initiating coverage report. And that is what in our entire training program we will be learning how you can write an initiating coverage report. Now why I am putting so much of focus on an initiating coverage report is that initiating coverage report is one particular report when a particular brokerage house or any equity research analysis report writing or report publishing companies, any company, when they initiate, that is for the first time when they cover any company and they publishes the report for the first time to public at large, then they come up with this report which is known as the initiating coverage report. And from where in India, for Indian companies, you can download this kind of reports. Let me show you the source. So you just need to go to Google and you can just simply search for, let's say, Root Mobile. So this is a particular company which got listed just a few years back. So this is why I am searching for their initiating coverage report on this particular company, which is Root Mobile, and I am writing Root Mobile initiating coverage report. I'm just writing it and I'm searching it. So here you have so many sources. Even HDFC Securities, they published one report on 30th March, as on 30th March 2021. You can go for the sources like the that is the core source, but I am also looking for one particular website from where you can actually get all those things. So that is actually the just like the simple way of searching for it, let me show you, then I'll be sharing the source with you as well. We did get to know about the source which was mentioned here, not this thing but trend line. From here we can actually download the reports, but you can just search like this and you might come across it. So I'm just showing you that way, then directly we can jump onto the trend line, no problem. So I searched for root mobile equity research report, and then the trendline.com, this particular website appears on top. So if you just click on this, it is getting loaded. So here you have different kind of things, recommendations, like this broker has downgraded this stock from its previous report. Broker recommendation downgrade, like that, this kind of ratings are there. And see, Arihant Capital, they have one accumulate rating there on this company, and here you have so many reports published by the different brokerage houses. These are the IPO note reports. So like at the time this company came up with their IPO, these brokerage houses, they covered the stock and they released their research reports. But here I am not finding out the initiating coverage report. So for that I will follow the previous path of finding the initiating coverage report. Probably this can be an initiating coverage report, or yeah, this thing is definitely, this report is an initiating coverage report. I'm just clicking on it. So I am just showing you all the ways to find out an equity research report. Okay, initiating coverage report, many times it can happen that you may not find it out. So yeah, JM Financial, this particular company, they have this coverage initiation, you can see, or the initiating coverage report on this company called Root Mobile, and you have this report. So you can go through it, you can download this report following the same way of working, and you can just download it. Okay, but generally on Trendline you can find out your the research report that you are looking for on your particular company. There is for most of the cases you can find out the research report on Trendline. So yeah, this is what I wanted to explain. So what are the things that you will be learning. Now let me show it to you that how this entire program of equity research training cum internship is designed and how we will actually approach it. So we will be spending 2 weeks. Okay, so first here you can look at this place. We will be doing economic analysis. So economic analysis will be our task for the first week, and I will teach you how you can do it. Okay, I will teach you, I will show you all the sources, the most reliable sources that we can use, and we will show I'll just show all these things to all of you. Okay, so economic analysis, this is the first thing that we will do. So in the first week we will be doing the economic analysis. Second week we will go for this. Second week we will be covering the steel sector. So we will work on steel sector report writing. So first week will be economic analysis, second week will be steel sector report writing, third week will be the one of the most important week in this entire duration of 6 weeks, which is in the third week we will learn how you can write an initiating coverage report on a particular steel company. So first week economic analysis, second week steel sector report writing, third week is equity research report writing on a particular steel company. Fourth week we will do our research on a particular finance related topic. It can be what can be the topics? I may ask you to cover Basel Committee. So those who have some knowledge about banking industry, so yeah, Basel Committee is the guiding light. So I may ask you to cover everything about Basel Committee and Basel 1, 2, 3, all this there, guidance and all these things. So committee's reports and all these things. So yeah, I may ask you to cover Basel Committee, or I may ask you to cover what is LBO, that is leverage buyout. I may ask you to cover what is hedge fund as a particular finance related topic, and you will have to give me wide coverage. So like for that all the assistance will be given from our side. So the fourth week we will spend our time for doing our research on a particular finance related topic. Then fifth week we will start with the banking sector report writing. In the fifth week we will start with the banking sector report writing, and in the last and final week we will write an equity research report on a particular listed bank. It can be a private sector bank, that is PVB, and public sector bank or PSU bank. So this is how it is designed. So first week economic analysis, second week steel sector report writing, third week equity research report writing on a particular steel company, fourth week finance related topic research, fifth week banking sector report writing, and sixth week will be equity research report writing on a particular bank. So this is how we have designed our entire program. Now the most important thing that all of us were waiting for is the economic analysis. The economic analysis part, what we will be covering. What we will be covering in our economic analysis. So these are the 11 points I have written down, and I have found out that these 11 points, you must have knowledge on all these 11 points. If you do not have proper knowledge of all these 11 points, then you cannot really understand anything about what is happening in the industry, what is happening in the economy. And if you do not have the understanding of economy and industry, then you can't do anything. So this is basically the economic analysis that we were talking about. So here, what are the things that you guys need to cover? And yes, for that I'll be sharing all the links with you one by one in the WhatsApp group. I'll share all the links with all of you. Okay, I will show you how you can find it out, because probably you are doing it for the first time. So if I do not show it to you, you might face a lot of difficulties. So I will just try to find, help you out to find the sources also. And there we will be doing few analysis, and then we will show you the most exciting part, how it is done. And after finishing this task of 11-point analysis, you will feel so much enriched, and you will have an understanding of what is happening globally, किधर कहाँ क्या हो रहा है, what is happening in India, inflation Russia में after this war, what is Russia's inflation. All these things you will get to know, So these are those 11 points, and for that, what are the sources that we will be following? So generally we will be covering these sources. These are the sources that we will follow. So these are the sources that we will follow, but do not worry, I will just open those websites and help you out. Okay, so you don't have to be worried. These are the most commonly used sources in the industry, and even I also follow them. So yeah, I'll just one by one, I'll just open up the sources for you, take you through it, and make sure that you understand, you have at least some basic understanding about all these points. Okay. So now we will actually look at all these points. I will take you through the central bank's website, all the sources that is mentioned here, all the sources that I have mentioned here. I'll take you through all the sources. Okay, central bank's website, then World Bank Group's website, tradingeconomics.com's website, like that I will take you through it, in investing.com's website, like that I'll just take you through the sources from where you can actually get this data. Okay. For now, let me just jump on to Google, and where you should be doing your all this work, where you should be putting your data on Excel, Word, PowerPoint. So here you should be putting your data in Excel. Excel mein how to do it, let me show you. How you can do it on Excel, how you should be putting those data, let me show you. So now we have this Excel sheet opened. I have just removed the grid lines here for my convenience. So these are the points that we have, right? So first point we have is global interest rate of all these countries. So So which are these countries? These countries are India, USA, Russia, China, Japan, Germany, UK. So you can just copy this line, Control C, Alt Tab you can use to come here to the Excel sheet. Control V, you can just simply paste. If the font size is too much, you can just reduce it by Alt. You can do H, you can do FS, and you can just reduce it as you want. Then, so we have the first point of global interest rate of even India, USA, Russia, China, Japan, Germany, UK, right? So what I can do is that you can just simply copy this country's name at once. Then US, like that you can just paste these things, and I'll be sharing this format with every one of you, so you don't have to be worried. Okay, I will share this format with all of you in the WhatsApp group. Ideally you should make this formats, but it's okay, as it is for the first time I'll be sharing these things. And the last thing, you have this UK. It is not in any order that I have selected, just randomly I have selected these things. And what else also I'm looking for? I should have this thing. Alt OCA to adjust the cell width. So the first item that we have is global interest rate. Now here in interest rate, while I'm talking about interest rate, I'm actually talking about the repo rate here. I'm concerned about the repo rate only. You have many other rates there. I'll just take you through it. The repo rate only I'm looking for. I'm just looking for this thing only, just the repo rate part. I'm not talking about any reverse repo rate, any base rate, bank rate, or anything for that matter. Just the repo rate only you should look for. And while you will be looking for the repo rate, I'm assuming that you do not have a very good understanding of all this banking terminologies and about this interest rate, so it's okay. We will be discussing about all these things in detail. Okay, in like much more detail, ekdam in-depth analysis we will be doing it. But while we will be covering the banking sector, okay, we will have to even cover what is CRR, what is SLR, all these things we will be covering, so please do not worry. So first thing is repo rate of these countries. So where can you find the repo rate of these countries? So all those tabs were actually ready, but I had to close because of the performance of my device. So it's okay, I'll just open it for you. So yeah, repo rate. So I'm just opening one particular tab, and I'll be sharing this link with all of you in the WhatsApp group as I promised. So yeah, rbi.org.in. Date here you can see it is 14th of August. And this website is a dynamic website, and they have this tab for current rates. There they have the policy rate. I guess you guys are not able to see it properly, so let me just zoom in for your convenience. अभी दिख रहा है आप लोगों को? Everyone can see it, right? अच्छा ये back हो गया था. ठीक है, everyone can see it, right? एकदम आराम से you can see it. So here we have a table, a place where we can check the current rates. current rates of which economy? RBI is a central bank of which country? India. And when the RBI Act was actually done? In 1934, RBI Act 1934. As per that, in 1935, the RBI was established, right? So, if we just click on this policy rate part, here you have so many things. You have the policy repo rate. You have policy repo rate. You don't need to know the definitions right at this moment. It's okay. We will explain all these things one by one. Just like that, I'll open up this website and I'll explain everything to all of you. Do not worry right now. Just focus on that. I'm just initiating you. I'm just introducing you to the data. Okay. अभी आपके साथ इन सब डेटास का हम लोग पहचान करवा रहे हैं. अभी समझने की ज़रूरत तो है, ठीक है, आपको बेसिक आइडिया है, बहुत बढ़िया. अगर नहीं है, बेसिक गूगल सर्च कर लीजिए, जितना पता चलेगा, इट्स ओके. While we will be covering the banking sector, same page I will open up and I'll tell you about what is policy repo rate, what is standing deposit facility rate, what is marginal standing facility rate, bank rate, fixed reserve, reverse repo rate, all these things I will explain for your understanding. Only these two basic terminologies, let me just explain in just few words. Repo rate matlab when the banks, scheduled commercial banks, they borrows from the RBI, it is considered as the policy repo rate. Reverse repo rate matlab when you have surplus cash amount in your bank, then you can give that money to the RBI and they will take that money from you at reverse repo rate. ठीक है, इतना ही अंडरस्टैंडिंग रखिए, अभी और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. Here you have reverse ratios here, that is SLR and CRR. CRR is the cash reserve ratio. It is important. So just in few words I will explain. CRR is a particular percentage and currently it is 4.50 for India. Banks, scheduled commercial banks, they will have to maintain 4.50% of their NDTL. That is why I was telling you that अभी discuss नहीं करते, but you will be so much curious to know. इसीलिए just explaining. हाँ, NDTL होता है net deposit and time liability. तो इतना ही समझ लीजिए कि आज let's say Monday है. Today is Monday. Let us assume today is Monday. And today the bank is open. There is no national holiday, so Monday the bank is open. चलिए, this Monday you will have holiday on 15th of August. I know this video is going to be timeless, like for 4-5 months from now also people will watch it. And as any significant updates come, then I will share release one more new video on the same topic. Let's say Tuesday you have the bank open and there is no public holiday. There is no bank strike or anything. The bank is open. So from 10, let's say the bank got opened and their cash is open till let's say 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So after that, when all the cash transactions got stopped, okay, all the deposits, all the withdrawals, or everything is stopped now. I'm just assuming, I'm just giving you a very assumed scenario, में giving an analysis for a very simple understanding right now. I will get in depth with it. Okay, so 10 बजे से from 10 o'clock in the morning you had your bank opened, you can do cash deposit, you can do cash withdrawals, and 4 o'clock it is stopped now. So the amount of money that you have received and you have paid out, after that what you have, you can maintain it with your with your RBI. So 4.50% you have to maintain with RBI. That is the CRR, and you do not get any interest or anything on this thing. So this balance actually lies with you, but this is the thing you should maintain with RBI. That is cash reserve ratio. You have to reserve this much of cash. It can be in terms of government securities, golds, and cash also to some extent, but it's okay. Let us not get in depth with it. And SLR is also 18% of NDTL, net deposit and time liability, you have to maintain. Okay, and you can't give loan to this particular portion of the cash. मतलब 100 crore का आपके बैंक में अगर टोटल डिपॉजिट होता है तो उसका CRR you have to maintain with RBI of 4.50%. You don't earn any interest on this मतलब 4.5 करोड़ के ऊपर On 4.50 crores, you do not make any money from RBI. This is CRR. SLR means you can't give loan to, again, CRR and SLR, you cannot give loan. So 18% you have SLR part. Now you have a few other terms as well, which is the exchange rates. Exchange rates, you can see it is as at 1:30 p.m. of August 11, 2022. And this exchange rate is in respect of INR and USD, GBP, Euro, Japanese yen. So what does it mean? $1 मतलब इंडियन रुपी में 79.48, ग्रेट ब्रिटेन पाउंड का एक ग्रेट ब्रिटेन पाउंड मतलब इंडिया का 97.03 रुपीज़. 1 यूरो का मीन 1 यूरो मीन्स 81.84 रुपीज़. 100 जापानीज येन का मतलब 59.78 INR. So this is the thing. Now you have lending or deposit rates. You have base rate. I just talked about it sometimes back. You have MCLR overnight. You have savings deposit rate. You have term deposit rate greater than 1 year. And then the market trends and all these things are mentioned. You know, government securities market ka, all these things are mentioned. So that is why I am telling you, you don't have to be worried about it. All those things, ये सब बाद में discussion करेंगे ही करेंगे. Policy repo rate for India is 5.40%, right? I was just looking for this data only and not for this data. So we have got it, policy repo rate of 5.40%. Let us move on to the Excel sheet now. The job is done. Now for the remaining countries like USA, Russia, China, Japan, Germany, UK, you have to find out these dates. Now how you can do it? What did I do for this thing? इसके लिए हम लोगों ने क्या किया था? We visited RBI's website. Now for US you have US Fed. For China you have People's Bank of China. Like that you have to visit their central bank's website and you have to get this rates. Now what point do we have after this? That is 10-year bond yields of these countries. Which countries? Of all these countries. 10-year bond yield कितना कितना चल रहा है? So the thing that we have is 10-year bond yield. Again, Alt H. Sorry. Yeah, you have Alt, you have H, you have FS. Again, you can reduce the size as you want. Here again same thing. You need to copy. Same thing. Now 10-year bond yield of these countries. Now please, if you do not understand what is bond yield and what is the second 10-year bond yield, what is coupon rate, all these things, it's okay. We will be discussing about these things in the 4th week. Why? Because we have a particular week dedicated for all this stuff like finance related topic, as I said, right? So if you do not understand the bond market, the fixed income securities and the market, it's okay. We have 1 week for that now. We will cover them. We will even cover alternate investments if you want. Hedge funds kya hota hai, private equity, angel investors, what are all these things? What is commodities, real estate, REITs? So all these things we have. We will be covering those things. If you do not know, let's say what is labor, London interbank offer rate, what is these things you do not know? It's okay. We have the 4th week, right? So the second point is 10-year bond yield of all these countries. Let us jump onto our Google. मतलब गूगल में भगवान के बिना कुछ भी ढूंढ, मतलब भगवान को छोड़ के सब ढूंढो, सब मिल जाएगा. भगवान नहीं मिलेगा, उनका फोटो मिलेगा. दैट इज व्हाई आई एम सेइंग कि भगवान को छोड़ करके सभी मिल जाएगा यहाँ पे. इट इज सच अ गुड प्लेस. तो व्हाट वाज माय पॉइंट? माय पॉइंट वाज 10-year bond yield for USA. I did find it out for you. Let me click on it. Actually I kept it found for all of you, otherwise it would take some time. So yeah, and I had to close the tabs. I think you guys saw it. Like because my performance of like laptop was not so good, so I had to just like shut it down. Anyways, United States 10-year bond yield. What is the bond yield percentage going on? Bond yield क्या चल रहा है? 2.842. So for USA 2.842. So again I have to like adjust the format of it. So 2.842% हो गया. Want to add one decimal place? Alt H 0. Then you have the third point that I'm looking for, and what was that? Our third point was central bank stance of these countries. अच्छा 10-year bond yields का I guess मन भरा नहीं होगा आप लोगों का, right? You are not happy with the 10-year bond yield because I just like showed you only one thing, right? कि USA का भाई इंडिया का दिखा दो. You might be thinking कि भैया इंडिया का दिखाओ. करते हैं क्या प्रॉब्लम है, इधर ही तो कर देंगे. तो आई एम जस्ट राइटिंग इन द सर्च द वेबसाइट की 10-year bond yield of which country. आई एम ट्राइंग टू फाइंड आउट इधर मिलता है कि नहीं. टेन-ईयर बॉन्ड यील्ड इंडिया का देखते हैं. लेट अस सी, लेट इट गेट लोडेड. तो 10 साल का बॉन्ड यील्ड इंडिया का बहुत ज़्यादा होता है ये. लाइक फॉर इंडिया एज यू नो इट इज़ अ डेवलपिंग कंट्री, तो इनका इंटरेस्ट रेट इज ऑलवेज हायर देन ऑल दिस डेवलप्ड मार्केट्स. सो बॉन्ड रेट विल ऑल्सो बी हायर, एंड एज इट गेट लोडेड like it is taking time, you can see. So let me explain like one or two things also. One common phenomena that you can get to see is that when the bond market actually performs well, at that time equity market doesn't perform well, because when you have so much of a risk in equity market which is like always volatile, always so much of risk prone, तो वहाँ पे आपको bond में भी risk होता है. There are many risk, liquidity risk you have, so many risk, credit risk you have, so many problems होता है आपका, solvency risk होता है. So in spite of that, but it is much more stable than the like equity market. So like whenever there is you can see like the bond yield of any country, 10-year bond yield of any country is going up, then you can perceive ki equity market may not do well. Okay, and that the same thing happened actually while all this like globally the inflation was so high. We did see it in 2022, right? Because at that time of this hyperinflation. So in India, 10-year bond yield, what is the India's 10-year bond yield? 7.289. 7.289 is the India का 10-year bond yield. So let us go to the Excel sheet. What is the 10-year bond yield? We did see. Sorry. Yeah, 7.289 we did see. So this is the 10-year bond yield for India. So now what is the third point that we have found out? this particular point, like most of the times my friends, they have queries about, my students, they have queries about इसको कैसे करते हैं. So this is the thing, let me show you. And this thing is central bank stance of these countries. This is a particular thing where I am actually looking for your own understanding. I want to understand like what kind of understanding you have about the monetary policies, about the economy of any nation. Here, you don't have to like write something from your own mind without any basis. No, you need to download the credit policy. That is the monetary policy we have in like RBI publishes their monetary policy. Generally, it is supposed to be like bi-monthly. आपका 2 months में एक बार होता है, 4 बार भी होता है, 6 बार भी होता है. Like, but it can even go beyond that. RBI, like central banks, they can come up with their monetary policy whenever they want, if they think it is necessary. ठीक है. तो central bank stance मतलब you have to download the monetary policy document of RBI, of US Fed, like that. You have to download their monetary policy document. You have to go through that monetary policy document, like the most recently available monetary policy document. You have to go through, you have to read, you have to understand, and in just 4 lines you have to summarize. What you need to summarize ki how the central bank of this particular country, they are thinking about interest rate, like how they are going to regulate the interest rate to control inflation, and if they increase the interest rate by few basis point, then what potential impact that can be there on the economy. And to maintain like any central bank objective, what are the main objectives of any central bank? Do you understand that? So their objective is generally controlling the inflation and maintaining stability in the economy. That is their primary objective. But if the inflation goes up, they can raise the interest rate, the inflation will come down, no doubt. The money supply in the economy will come down, so the inflation will also come down because your purchasing power will come down. Industrial growth will also come down, your GDP will also come down. IIP, WPI, CPI, all these things will it will also come down. But इसके impact को, like you have control the inflation is very good, but if you cannot maintain your country on the path of growth and development, then how it will work? Your people will get unemployed. Like the companies will have to lay off employees from their company, right? If there is no growth in the market. So what the central banks are thinking about this economy is how they will be maintaining, how they will maintain this economy on the path of growth. मतलब growth चलता रहे, इसके लिए सेंट्रल बैंक क्या कर रहा है? इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ गया तो इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ा के वो कंट्रोल करना चाहता है, बट उसका टारगेटेड इंटरेस्ट रेट क्या है? कोई ओपन मार्केट पॉलिसीज के थ्रू, लाइक आर दे कंट्रोलिंग द इन्फ्लेशन, आर दे ट्राइंग टू मेंटेन द इकोनॉमी ऑन द पाथ ऑफ ग्रोथ, हाउ दे आर डूइंग इट? दैट इज व्हाट द सेंट्रल बैंक स्टैंड्स आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. एंड वेयर यू कैन फाइंड इट आउट? यू कैन फाइंड इट आउट फ्रॉम द मोस्ट रिसेंटली अवेलेबल मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट. आपको मोस्ट रिसेंटली अवेलेबल मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट कहाँ मिलेगा? On all the central bank's website. You just download that, read it, understand it in just 4 lines. You just summarize it. That's all you have to do for the third point. Central bank stance of these countries. Of which countries? The countries, 7 nations that I have mentioned. So the third point, in the third point, what you guys will be doing, as I said, you have to make a summary. How you have to make a summary? India. Now you just So now you just take few cells, select it, merge and center, wrap text, then keep writing. कुछ भी यहाँ पे जो आपका होगा, whatever is your commentary, whatever you have understood, you can just write it down here like this. Okay. Now, what is the fourth point? what is the next fourth point that we have? Inflation. आ गया ना inflation रास्ते पे. तो inflation in these areas, you have to discuss about their inflation in these areas. Like what is their current inflation rate going on? That's all you need to discuss. Nothing else you have to find out. Inflation in these areas you have to discuss. Now what you need to do is that you have the GDP of last 5 years. Acha, about inflation I didn't tell you how you should be doing the work. So for inflation you have to find out the data for this country specific inflation ka data. Okay, how you can do it is let me show you. As you guys will be doing it for the first time, let me show you. Inflation in these areas. Let's say post this Ukrainian war, like Russia and Ukraine war, all the sanctions and everything. What is currently Russia's inflation? It is very important to look at. So can you see what is the inflation level going on? Russia inflation rate 15.1%. Can you see it? July month में. So inflation. Again select the range of country names. So what was the percentage? 15.1%. Simple. Like that for USA, India, you can just find it out like this. Now then, what is the next point? The next point is GDP of last 5 years, per capita income and population. How we should be doing it. And after this entire work, like the मजा जो आप लोगों को आएगा, okay, जो मजा आएगा ये कंप्लीट करने के बाद, that is something which is we are working for. I know the presentation is not that much attractive, but I'm not focused about the presentation but at all right now. Right now the most important thing is कि you guys get to know about it. आपको इकोनॉमिक्स के बारे में थोड़ा सा समझना है, ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी में वट एवर इज हैपनिंग. आई वॉन्ट टू इंट्रोड्यूस ऑल ऑफ यू टू दैट थिंग. अभी प्रेजेंटेशन का बात नहीं है, प्रेजेंटेशन करने का बहुत टाइम मिलेगा, राइट? सो जीडीपी ऑफ लास्ट 5 years ऑफ दिस कंट्रीज. सो लेट मी गो ऑन गूगल. I'll be sharing all these links with all of you, my students, in the WhatsApp group. Do not worry, okay? I'll be sharing all the links. I'll share all these links in the group. Do not worry. Chalo. So we want to know about GDP. India का GDP. Can you guys do know it, right? अच्छा ये नहीं दिखाएंगे अभी. लोड होने दीजिए इसको. तब तक you answer me one question. We do know that in 1991 India had their liberalization and globalization policy, right? But we also get to listen to those things ki at that time, like India had a forex reserve of only few days, like 15 days or so, and the growth rate at that time was in negative. Like this is not the first time that it has happened in India, negative growth rate. Then also it happened. Then what was the growth rate? Negative growth rate, negative GDP. It happened. कितना नेगेटिव हुआ था, इकोनॉमी का हालत कैसा था. चलिए कोविड के टाइम पे व्हाट वाज द जीडीपी इन 2020 में व्हाट वाज इंडियाज जीडीपी इन वैल्यू टर्म्स एंड इन परसेंटेज टर्म. व्हाट वाज द फॉल इन जीडीपी? डू यू नो दैट? इफ यू डू नॉट नो इट, एंड आई एम talking to you about 1991. You were thinking like भैया 2020 का पता नहीं है, इस साल पिछले साल 2021 में कितने से ग्रो किया, we do not know, and you were talking about 1991. Are you mad भैया? Have you lost your mind? So no, I have not lost my mind. I can show you and I can help you to find out. That is why I am saying. ऐसा ही थोड़ी ना बोलेंगे, खुद का बेइज्जती करने का कुछ मेरे को शौक थोड़ी ना है. So देखिए, now Modi ji is saying that by 2025 he has a dream that India becomes a $5 trillion economy. And right now what is India's GDP? कितने ट्रिलियन डॉलर का GDP India has? You can see in current US dollar, India's GDP is 3.17 trillion dollar का. In 2021 India का GDP था 3.17 trillion dollar का. Now tell me, I was talking to you about COVID 2020 में, तो कितना हुआ था इंडिया का जीडीपी घट करके? इट केम डाउन टू 2.67 ट्रिलियन डॉलर. फ्रॉम व्हाट लेवल? फ्रॉम 2.83 ट्रिलियन डॉलर. 2000 यू हैड 18 में 2.7, यू हैड 2017 में 2.65 ट्रिलियन डॉलर इकोनॉमी, 2016 में हुआ था 2.29 ट्रिलियन डॉलर्स का इकोनॉमी, देन 2015 में 2.1 ट्रिलियन डॉलर की इकोनॉमी. 2014 when actually Narendra Modi he got elected as our PM. So in that particular year, what was India's GDP? It was 2.04 trillion dollars. And from that level, how much India's GDP has grown? You can see 3.17 trillion dollar minus you can do this 2.04 trillion dollars. So let us just check. Let us just simply do it. 3.17 minus 2 point, what did we see? 2 point कितना था? It was 2.04, right? So minus 2.04 trillion dollars if you do. So by what value India's GDP has grown? It has grown by 1.13 trillion dollar. It has grown. And what was the CAGR? We will show you. We will show you all those things. So in 2021, what was India's GDP? 3.17 trillion dollars. Okay, you can write it down in the units like this. You can just write it down with a dollar sign, that trillion dollars. Okay, or you can just like dollar trillion also would work similarly. तो भाई कितने like what was India's GDP in 2021 was 3.17 trillion dollar का. But US का कितना था, रशिया का कितना था? From where we can get it? We can get it from this source itself of like World Bank Group source. We can get it. But now I was talking to you about GDP का growth rate, right? And yeah, 1991 में what was India's GDP? So 1991 में India's GDP was 270 billion dollars. And in 1990 India's GDP was, you can see it, right? Can you see it? Yeah, 2019 में India's GDP was 320.98 billion dollars. तो इकोनॉमी का कॉन्ट्रैक्शन कितना होके कितना हुआ in 1991? It became 270 billion dollars. मतलब 50 billion dollar का GDP आपका खत्म हो रहा है. So what could be the close to percentage? कितना यहाँ पे डिग्रोथ हुआ होगा? यहाँ पे आपका 20, यहाँ पे आपका 30, so it is 50 आपका इधर से जा रहा है, तो then like 1/6 of the economy is vanished, right, in a year. Now we will actually look at the like GDP percentage. Like we see, we get to hear these things, right, कि India का GDP has grown by this percentage, right, कि पिछले साल like on year basis India's GDP has grown by 6%, 7%, 8%, right. So what was India's GDP in 2021? GDP growth rate. So you can see GDP growth annual percentage in India, that was 8.9%. India का GDP grew in 2021 compared to 2020. And 2020, in the year of COVID-19, first COVID crisis, what was India's GDP? It was, you can see, minus 6.6%. 2019 में there was a economic slowdown. Post what? Like what was the incident in 2019? So 2018 you had this So yeah, from 16 you had issues like you had demonetization, you had all those things going on. 2016 ka, let me show you, it was 8.3% in spite of this demonetization, because last 2 months were impacted post 8th November, right? Then GST happened. People say कि उससे economy को impact हुआ. Yeah, definitely it impacted the economy. So that is why as a reason 8.3%, so it came down to 6.8%, right? Then in 2018 everything was going well. The economy also, like, because of inflation started happening in 2018. So 2018 throughout the year, what happened, let me tell you. 2018 first dhakka for Indian economy, first break for Indian economy was what? It was what do you call it, dividend distribution tax. Then you had this thing capital gains tax, like long term capital gains tax, and the entire market sentiment was dampened. Then what happened? Do you remember that? US China trade war started taking place. At that time the trade restrictions and all these things started taking place between Trump and Xi Jinping, right, in 2018, if you remember. Acha, what more happened? Do you remember about IL and FS crisis that took place in 2018? IL and FS crisis, like the entire group was at a verge of collapse. So Indian government had to put this person Uday Kotak, who is the chairman of Kotak Mahindra Bank. They had to recruit this person. They had to put this person in IL and FS group's chairman as the chairman to safeguard the thing. And also LIC to always there, and SBI is always there to rescue you from any situation, right? So yeah, these things happened in 2018. 2019 on the day of Valentine's Day, Pulwama happened. All these things were going on. So 2019 also was the election year, Modi 2.0. It happened in the month of, I guess, May or June, I don't remember, but yeah, I actually first time voted in this year in 2019, and on 19th of May that is my birthday. So on that day I had my first election, and I first give vote on that day. So yeah, I remember that in election time as well, this Balakot airstrikes and everything happened. So yeah, they got the majority government once again with I think 282 seats, right? So yeah, this year India's GDP was in a bad situation because of this export ka problem tha, right? And inflation was always there. 2018 se there was huge inflation in global economy. Similarly, as this time also it happened, central banks are increasing their interest rate. This is not for the first time. At that time also it happened. The inflation was touching the ceiling, but this time it has break the ceiling and it is touching the sky. We know it. So yeah, 2019 May India's GDP growth rate was 3.7%. Then in the last quarter it was slowly shifting. Post in 2019 what happened? This corporate tax rate cut by Nirmala Sitharaman, and on an intraday basis, if you were a trader at that time in the market, you must remember 2 days we had close to around 12 in the in the afternoon we had this corporate tax rate cut ka news, and on an intraday basis the Sensex and Nifty was up by 5%. Next day also like that, and Asian Paints, Reliance, all this Colgate, Pidilite, all the stocks were trading at 10% high. So these are the events that happened there. In 2019, one more incident happened, that we had this DHFL company which got bankrupt, and not only DHFL, many other companies, NBFCs were also going bankrupt. And then 2020 we had Yes Bank crisis, right? So if you were in the market since the long time, you have this fun to experience all those things. I'm in the market, as I said at the very beginning, from 2015, so I've seen many things, so experience karne ka bahut kuch mila, right? So this is how it is. Now I was talking about negative GDP growth. Here we can see that 6.6% was the negative GDP growth, right? But what did actually happen in 1991? Can we see that? Acha, यहाँ पे था 3.1%. Global financial crisis, it was really well, हम लोग बच गए थे fortunately, and you had this 1991 India's GDP was at 1.1%. Acha, sorry, I told you about minus in 1991. It didn't go minus. It went minus 5.2% in 1979. I don't remember. Is it the time of emergency, imposed by Indira Gandhi or not? Is it the year? I do not know. I have to check. Okay, so this has been largely the trajectory of Indian economy. And yeah, this was this very bad year. This was 1965, I think. This time this this time was no, not, yeah, for 72 में लगा था emergency. I do not remember properly. And those like green revolutions and Lal Bahadur Shastri ka tenure was probably this time. We had to import that wheat from USA, and they said ki we won't even let you eat. We won't export our wheat to India. This kind of things happened. We generally get come to listen to those things, right? So actually this is the thing I'm looking for. For GDP, what you need to do is that 5-year you have to give. How you have to give is that 2021 you write down, and then 8.9% growth we can see, right? So we will just do this thing. This is the 3.17 in dollar trillion, and what was the growth rate? I said it is 8.9%. I'm saying, right? So 8.9%. Now for 5 years you have to do it. So it should be like 2021 it should be like this, and 2020 it should be like this. 2020 mein what was the GDP as we just saw? 2020 it was 2.67 trillion, right? 2.67, like that. For 5 years you have to do it, like value and percentage growth, like that you can do it. So like 2021, what was the sorry, it got converted into percentage. It was how much? 2.67, right? Not percentage, yeah. Yeah, this is the thing. Now in here it was how much? 8.3 or what? 8 point, yeah, 8.9%, right? Sorry, 8.9% growth in India's GDP. Like that for all the countries you have to do it. Now from where you can get this data for all these countries? इधर से ही तो मिल जाएगा. You have this India का tab, you remove it, then your dear China का यहाँ पे select China, and you have the GDP for China. This is, can you believe what the hell we are watching? Minus 27.3% in 1961, minus 5.6, 10%, 18%, 17%, then again minus 5.8, roller coaster ride. And from the year 1992, when we had our crisis, they were just rocking the entire thing. You can see continuously how this Chinese economy has grown. And in 2021, they had a growth rate of GDP growth of 8.1%. And in COVID year, they had 2.2% positive GDP growth rate. Can you understand this thing? Trade war, they had 6%. 2018, they had start of trade war and inflation 6.7%. And yeah, GDP is like size, their economy size. What is the size? So थोड़ा पहले से लेते हैं. In 1991, we have a very good point here to tell you. Although we know what Chinese are, what do they actually do, but in 1991, you can see what was China's economy. It was at $383.37 billion, right? Which is quite large. But in India, what was the India's economy at that time? $270 billion. We did see that. And in 1990, China's economy was $360 billion. And in 1990, India's GDP was how much? $320 billion. We just saw that, right? So समझ रहे हो कितना ग्रोथ किया है चाइना ने? एक ही जगह से शुरू किया था, only $40 billion का we had differences. What they have become and what the hell we are doing. Okay, this is the growth rate China has achieved. You can see it. देखिए ना 2014 में what was the situation? $10.48 trillion. $10.48 trillion से this entire large second largest economy has grown and it has become $17.78 trillion. 73% almost growth. चलिए 70% growth in economy of China since 2014. What the hell we are doing? Past में भी and अभी भी what the hell we are doing? Our economy was at what level? We just see that it was how much? कितना था वो आपका 2 point I guess 2 ऐसा कुछ था, right? 2.1 था I guess. या 2014 में था, 2014 में it was 2.04 and now it is 3.17, less than 70% growth. So can you understand? Like you are understanding the difference between India and China, right? Why it is the second largest economy and why it is a threat to US. अच्छा point आया. US का देखते हैं. Let us look at US. We did see at China $17 trillion. Now the king. Let us look at USA. $23 trillion, and Chinese economy is only $6 trillion behind US. So you can understand. I don't have to tell you anything, and why it is such a big threat for India and the entire world. You can understand, and that is why India, being the second largest producer of steel in the world, India has only 6% market share, whereas United States has, China has 53% market share in steel market. You can understand that thing, right? Now are you understanding? And now are you understanding that how much economics is interesting? Economics तो बहुत ही interesting होता है, geopolitics, all these things are so much interesting भाई. यही तो सीखना है आप लोगों को, इसके बिना तो कुछ नहीं होगा, right? So that is why I am telling you. तो चलिए GDP का we are done with the GDP part. Then next what we have is that we have the import export fiscal deficit of last year, that is 2021. You have to collect the data for all the countries. Import export and fiscal deficit of last year of which country, of all these countries? Of all these countries you have to find out. Now import export and fiscal deficit, how we can find out. So I will just show you, I'll just help you to find out one data for India. I'll try to do it for you, but rest you have to do it. So for import export, import of goods and services, we have, yeah, from here I guess, अच्छा Japan का I have like in hand. Okay, so this is the import of goods and services, constant 2015 US dollar prices, Japan ka. What is the amount of imports made by Japan in the year 2020? It is $794.59 billion, right? Similarly, you can find out, I guess, exports also here. नहीं ये LCU में नहीं होगा, it should be in US billion dollars. It should be in US billion dollars. So yeah, we can find it out, right? From here itself we are getting the data. So exports, I'm just typing exports. So yeah, current USD. You have this balance of payments and all this data is also available here, right? Exports, what was the export amount? It was $784 billion. You can see it, right? So like that, you have to take these data. So here you can see one particular source, OECD International Accounts Data Files, right? So if you visit this particular website, you will actually get the data for 2021 also. Okay. 2021 का जापान का, इंडिया का, हर एक कंट्रीज का you can get the import and export data from OECD. So I'll be sharing the link with all of you. It is already mentioned here. You can see it is already even mentioned on my my site also. Yeah, OECD.org. So from here you can gather this data as of 2021 also. So import, export and fiscal deficit of the year, you can find it out. Now the 7th point becomes the IIP, WPI and CPI of last 1 year. And IIP, WPI and CPI, these are the indicated for India only. For other nations, they do have their different set of, they call it differently. So IIP, WPI, CPI, monthly you can get this data, and yeah, I'll just show you. From open sources how you can do it, I'll show it to you. So IIP, WPI, CPI, you guys already know it. IIP, WPI, CPI, yeah, we have got it. We're taking it from this particular news channel, but we, like I told you, we'll be using one like open-ended sources. But if you need like proper, not the third-party sources, these are the third-party sources, right? But if you want like from a proper source, I guess this PIB can also do your work. Let me check. PIB may you can get the this thing. Wait, let me show you. Yeah, these are the fiscal deficit numbers and all these things. Do not worry, I'll share all these things with you. One more thing. वो PDF का आ गया, right? I actually had one PDF for all of you, and to share a PDF with all of you in the group. Wait. That is why actually I kept my tabs opened at the very beginning, but it was not working, so I had to like close it. Acha, I'll just get it here. PIB press release, and where is this? I just like kept it ready ekdam. Acha, for these countries, let me. Acha, I did show you the inflation rates, right? If I just get the PDF, I'll share with you. I have something good to share with you. So in the WhatsApp group, I'll definitely share within just like after I'm done with the recording, and as I'll be sharing the links and everything. So there I'll share one PDF also with you. That is from the ministry's website, so I'll be sharing that. I'm just not finding the link because it is lost somewhere here. Then we have one more point. Acha, so IIP, WPI, CPI, let me show it from the news channel at least, so that you do not have the doubt at least. Yeah, So CPI inflation, you can see IIP they are showing it. Yeah, CPI, Consumer Price Index, is to 6.71% in July, and IIP is appearing to be 12.3% in the month of June. But for July, we can like wait for it. Yeah, these are the things. So now, like for WPI, I wanted to share one particular PDF with all of you. I'll just download that and will share it with all of you because I want you to go through it. Okay, I want you that you just read it. Reading नहीं करोगे उस PDF को समझ में नहीं आएगा आप लोगों को. That is why I'll be sharing that thing. That is very much important actually. I want to share it with all of you. No, I'm not getting the thing here, but it's okay. I'll be sharing that particular thing with all of you. Is it WPI? Is it so? Just a second. Let me. I guess I have found it out. Yeah. WPI, you can see released on this date. So एकदम industry wise you have all the group wise, major commodity wise, you have everything mentioned here. So I'll be sharing this thing in the WhatsApp group, so please do not worry, okay? And you will have to like go through it, okay? Then only you can get the crux of it. अच्छे से इसको go through करना. It is not from फालतू source. You can see Government of India, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, right? So from them I have we just collected it, right? So I'll be sharing the link so that you can like track this website, okay? Achha, now what we are left with, let us look at it. These two particular things I will leave it to you. These two particular things I won't explain to you because I want you to go through it. You will have a lot of things to cover in these two things. I'll explain what you need to do. Let me just first finish with this 10th point. And 11th point also will be your work, like you will have to do it by yourself only because it needs few Google searches, like few more Google searches. You cannot get it from just ready-made sources. Okay, if you go through those ready-made sources, it doesn't make any sense. So I'll like let you do your searching on this 8th, 9th and 11th point. But yeah, the date taken by the nations, the external date part, so I'll just take it through you. We can take like India's example for it. RBI's website would work for it. Let me show you the RBI's website. From them actually can like access this data very easily. RBI's website, you can go through it. You can even just do the like random Google search, that would also do your work. No, it is the policy rate part. We have this thing where it is. Yeah, India's external date as at the end of March 2022. You can see it, right? So the external date figure, you can see what is the external date taken by India as a nation. So at the end of March 2022, India's external date was placed at USD $620.7 billion, right? And recording an increase of USD $47.1 billion, right? Over its like level at end of March 2021. So in a year, India has seen like an huge increase in the like debt taken, external debt taken by the nation, right? You can see that like 47.1 billion of growth we can see it here, right? And currently what is the external debt taken by India is $620.7 billion, right? So this is now the current figure we can see. As I said, I'll be sharing this link with all of you again. And now for other countries, what could be the sources? For other countries, what could be the sources? So the sources that I have mentioned here, these sources are like, if you follow these sources, 90%, if not 90, at least 80% of your work will be done. 80% of your work will be done if you follow only these sources only. For rest of the data's informations that is mentioned in this 3 points that I didn't mention intentionally, the 8th, 9th and 11th point, this is going to be your homework. For 1 week you will have 1 week's time, you take that much time to do the research on these 3 topics only. This 8 point, 9 point and 11 point. Yes, do not worry. As I promised you at the very beginning that I will give you 100% hand holding. So yeah, I'll do it. I'll help you to understand it. But yeah, this will be your main homework. Yes, you will have to gather the data. All these data you have to gather. Each and everything you have to gather, like global interest rate, like the repo rate, only you have to gather for all these countries, 10-year bond yield for all these countries, central bank stance of all these countries, inflation of all these countries, GDP of last 5 years, per capita income, population of all these countries. I didn't show you the per capita income part because you can just get it there from the same World Bank's website. Then import, export and fiscal deficit, I did show it to you from World Bank source itself of all these countries. Once again you have the gather for, go for IIP, WPI and CPI of last 1 year I have written it. So like for last 1 year you have to take it, like as I told you, it's a monthly publications, right? So for last 1 year in India only you have to get it. 1 year in 12 months, what were the data, like how were the trend of the inflations and growth in the industrial production and all these things, you have to tell us. Okay, in the Excel sheet you have to put the data. 8 and 9 points intentionally I have left it blank. I haven't shown it to you. 11th point also is very simple, I haven't shown it to you. Debt taken by the nation, again for all the countries, only external debt you have to consider. Now the thing is that what is mentioned in this 8th and 9th point, that is what is there in the 8th point is the major public and private investments made in an economy and the business dynamics of that particular industry. Now which industry I am talking about? So first you need to do one thing. पहले आपको ये करना है कि you just go for the 9th point. Top 5 leading industries and their global market share for India only you have to do. So this 9 point matlab only for India you have to do the work on 8th and 9th point. What you need to do is that top 5 leading industries in India, you will have to find it out first. And then you have to find out what is the contribution to GDP of that particular sector. Currently for steel sector contributes 2.32% to India's GDP, right? Banking sector contributes how much? 7.7. FMCG, putting it together, like personal care, health care, putting all these things together, household care, what is the contribution to India's GDP? Close to 20%. IT you have, it is around IT around 8%, yeah, close to it is 8%. Automobile sector you have 6.9%. Like that you have to find out which are the top 5 industries. Now there can be many parameters of finding out top 5 leading industries in India. It can be as per by number of billionaires also, it can be as per profit earned, it can be as per revenue from like revenue generated from this sectors, it can be as of employment generation. But I consider this particular parameter which is called as contribution to GDP. Even there can be one parameter of gross value added. You should not be going for those things, only go for contribution to GDP. This parameter only I am looking for. Okay, so you have to find out this data for India only, कि India में which are the top 5 leading sectors as per the contribution to GDP, contribution to India's GDP and their market share, global market share. Now this particular thing would be very difficult to find out the global market share. As I told you, steel sector, India has 6% market share in the steel market. So it is a difficult thing to look for, I know it, but this is why your designation will be called as a full-time equity research analyst. And these two terms particularly which is the research analyst. The meaning of these two words, research analyst, is that you do the research. In Hindi, the research means क्या है, अनुसंधान करना, and analysis means होता है you do the विश्लेषण, right? So being a research analyst, you have to do this thing because this will be your job. That is why you will get paid. And now after going through the entire process about the salary, being a full-time equity research analyst, how much money you can make? From the very entry level, fresher, beginning level, let's say you have qualification like BCom or CFA level 1 or MBA from tier 3 colleges. In that case, you can expect a salary of around 25 to 30,000. 30,000 is also generally not paid, but yeah, in few companies they do pay. So you can make a range of 20 to 25 to 30,000 can be the entry level range, and it can even go up to, for entry level jobs, 40,000 for CFAs, level 2 qualified candidate, tier 2 MBA colleges, those candidates, and tier 1 colleges and CA qualified candidates plus CFA level 3, not plus, matlab either CFA level 3 or CA or MBA from tier 1 colleges, it can be somewhere around 80,000 per month for an entry level job, I am saying. So इतना पैसा कोई आपका चेहरा देख के तो नहीं देगा ना. Nobody will look at your face and give you money. So this is why you have to do the hard work. So I want you to just do this much only. I told you what you need to search for in the 9th point. Followed by like the global market share, you have to do the research on this part only by yourself. It is easy. You have to go for the global associations. Like for steel industry, we have World Steel Association. For other sectors, they have their global association. From there you can find out the country-wise market share. Now for the major public and private investments and business dynamics, in the 8th point, what does it mean? What you need to do is that top 5 leading industries that you find out for India. Let's say you have found out FMCG sector, you have found out IT sector as 2 sectors in among those 5 sectors. So what you need to do is that you have to find out what is the major investment made in the last financial year, like by private institutions, organizations, or it can be even like government investments also, government spending as well in that sector. So it should be like this. I give this like example to all my students because this is relevant like in one particular investment. So I definitely take this example. ArcelorMittal, which is the second largest producer of steel in the world, and you know who's the chairman, right? So like Lakshmi Mittal is the chairman of this entire company, ArcelorMittal, right? So ArcelorMittal, they signed an MOU with the Gujarat government. MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. They signed with Gujarat government, and they have said that they are going to invest close to around 1,67,425 crore rupees approx. They will be investing in Gujarat, and they have signed an MOU with the partnership, that is they have a joint venture with others, Nippon Steel, and this joint venture has signed an MOU with the Gujarat government. So this is a major private investment, right? So that is what you need to look for all these top 5 industries or top 5 sectors. And business dynamics part, so definitely business dynamics of all these 5 industries, that is at what CAGR for next 5 years this industry will grow, how far it is expected to grow, what are the potential changes that can happen, like green hydrogen, you have the green steel production coming up, hydrogen based with the hydrogen based production methodology, and they are trying to remove the coking coal part from the production of steel. These are the business dynamics. You have in you have this thing, in telecom you had just this 5G spectrum ka auction happening few days back, and even Adani Group took up participation in this, and they also got 235 crore rupees of spectrums they had. And Jio, like Reliance Jio came out, turned out to be the largest bidder, second followed by second was Airtel, third was Vodafone Idea, and fourth was Adani Group. So these are the business dynamics. So spectrum का नीलामी क्यों हुआ? Because the 5G technology is coming. That is the business dynamics I am talking about. You need to follow. Okay. And about that, you need to make a summary and you have to write it down in the Excel only. Okay. So now when you will have to submit this task. So all my dear students, when you need to submit this task. So you have to submit all this tasks that I have mentioned, all this 11 point analysis. You have to submit all this tasks by next week, the day you have your session. On that day, like you have your first live session, like which will be the same session as we are discussing in the video. After attending that live session or after you get this recorded session, then when you have your next like day 2 live session class, by on that day by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you have to submit the task. That is what is the deadline. Where you need to do it? You need to do it on the Excel sheet and you have to share it. Now where you can share your work with me, so you have to WhatsApp your work with me. Okay, you have to share your work on WhatsApp with me. So that is the thing you need to do. These are the sources, and yes, definitely I'll be sharing all the links in the group, so do not worry. So at the end, this quote is by Warren Buffett. I found it out just few days back on the internet, that the best investment you can make is in yourself. So yeah, you have invested this time, you are committing to invest this 6 weeks tenure and this 1000 rupees for this training cum internship process, right? So make sure that you have this, capital investment of 1000 rupees in your career, which is not so significant compared to your MBA courses or throughout the life you have studied, right? So it is probably the smallest investment that you are making in your life in terms of money, in terms of time duration also, because 6 weeks and 1000 rupees, that is all your investment is. But it doesn't really determine, because whatever you will be learning, whatever will be ROI from this training program, you will enjoy this ROI throughout your life. Okay, Mr. Buffett, he is 95 years old, I think right now, and he started investing at the age of 11, and he made 90% of his wealth, his fortune, after he turned 65. So that is the power of compounding, right? So what you will be learning from us today, from this only 1000 rupees ka training program and 6 weeks tenure, whatever you will be learning from us today, it will show you the result. You just move forward with your career. You just keep on practicing whatever we are teaching you, whatever will be teaching you in this entire training program. Make sure that you practice this thing on a daily basis. जॉब मिलना बहुत मामूली सी बात होगा आपके लिए, बहुत ही साधारण बच्चों वाला बात होगा फॉर यू टू गेट अ जॉब एज एन इक्विटी रिसर्च एनालिस्ट. आप उससे कहीं और ज़्यादा आगे बढ़ पाएंगे, आई कैन गारंटी यू. आपने कभी इन योर लाइफ, इन योर चाइल्डहुड प्रोबेबली you learned English language, right? English language में you learned ABC. I also learned like that, all the 26 alphabets and all those things. Right now, today I am making this presentation. I have typed all this presentation and I am using that same English language. Now, how it has turned out to be, isn't it so fascinating? That simple ABC, now I am working, I have made this presentation with that basic ABC. See, central banks, you have A, you have B, you have C. Same ABC is here in permutations and combinations. Now it has become a presentation, and I am presenting this thing to all of you on the internet, and like for my students, yeah, I'm just giving this presentation to all of you. Same ABC has turned out to be all these things. Like that, this will turn out to be after few years in your life. This training program will unfold in your life in that manner. The ROI you won't understand right now. As I said, 90% of Mr. Buffett's wealth was created after he turned 65. So 65 say 75, 85, 95 in this 30 years. The actual effect of compounding he got to see that. Otherwise, he was just a simple billionaire. But now you know he is the living legend, right? So that is how compounding works, and this thing will also turn out to be like that. This will also give you return like that. So believe the process, have the trust in this process, go through the thing, make sure you finish all your tasks, and you have any query at any point of time in your career in like this entire 6 weeks. So yes, I'm always with you. Even after that, if you have any query regarding your career, you can always get in touch with me. And whenever you have any doubt, you have my number. I am in that, like I am in both the WhatsApp groups that where we added you. So do not worry. You can ping me whenever you want. You have my number. I'll be uploading this on YouTube. So I'm not sharing my personal number here on this video, but yeah, I'm there in the WhatsApp group as an admin. So you can find me out there. My name is Soumitra Mandal. So I'm always there with you, and in the live session I'll be sharing my contact number as well. Okay, so you can get in touch with me whenever you want. I don't care. If you have a doubt at 3 o'clock at night, you can just ping me on WhatsApp even at 3 o'clock at night. Let me get up in the morning. I will answer you. Please, I have a small request to make, because I am most of the times either I'm working or I'm taking the live session. So yeah, in the evening time, please do not call me from 7 to 10:30. In evening beyond 7, please do not call me ever. Before 7 o'clock in the evening, you can call me whenever you want, because you guys already know that you have your live sessions in the evening from 7 to 9, right? So I will be either taking your batches session or any other batches session. So do not call me post 7 o'clock in the evening. But yeah, throughout the day, like from 8 in the morning, you can call me whenever you want. Okay, for any guidance, any help, you can call me. Okay, so that was all from my side. And one last thing, if you are interested in learning financial modeling, so we have someone who is really special for us. So he is ex buy-side equity research analyst from CRISIL. He has more than 8 years of experience in doing global research, equity research and all these things, and buy-side research. So if you want to learn financial modeling as well, if you enjoyed this session, so yeah, you can go for our financial modeling training cum internship also. And those who are watching this thing on the internet, if you are willing, if you think that you have found out some value from this session, if you liked it, in that case, you can just message us on WhatsApp. Our official number is 95648671134. So I'll be just writing it down for your convenience, like for any candidate, if they would like to learn, I'm just writing out only for that purpose. So our number is 95648671134. This is our office's number. So you can contact us, like our coordinator will pick up the call, so you can just talk to him. This is our number, 95648671134. So you can just contact on this number anytime you want. If you have interest to learn all these things, equity research, sectoral analysis and economic analysis and all these things, and you want to become an investment banker or equity research analyst or hedge fund manager or anything like that, if you're interested in this thing, so yeah, you can ping us. And for our students and for everyone, I'm saying, if you are interested in financial modeling, you can definitely join for that. The fees is 1500 rupees only, and there also you will have 6 weeks tenure. We will train you for 6 weeks straight. Okay, and he will be your trainer, not me. Like, we have much more experience than me, so we'll be learning from him directly. We'll have the live interactive session with me, as you guys have with me for the equity research. So those who are watching this for the first time, equity research training cum internship, the fees for that is only 1000 rupees. The duration would be 6 weeks. And for financial modeling, the fees is currently 1500 rupees, although the actual fees of this is 3000 rupees. But yeah, we are charging right now 1499 rupees, that is 1500 rupees for our Independence Day offer. And also, as this is the introductory offer, and already we, in a matter of just 2 weeks, we have got enrollments of more than few hundred candidates. So like 100 plus candidates we have already got. They are interested, they have paid us, I have enrolled for it. So if you are interested, you can take either of this or both of this if you want. So if you want, you can contact and at this number 9564867134. Okay. So that was all from my side. If you have any questions or any queries, if you are my student, in that case you can just ask me in the group, and as I told you, I'm there in the like WhatsApp group, so you can just message me. I will definitely reply you there in the group also, personally. Even if you WhatsApp me, I will definitely answer you. Okay. And what was the next thing I was about to talk? Yeah, that was all. You can just ping me like that. Yeah, and for the like those who are watching us for the first time on YouTube, if you have any suggestions to share with us, then you can just like let us know in the comment box. Okay. So that was all from my side. Namaskar everyone. Goodbye.